Hey guys, what's up? It's Jules here for WhatCulture.com, joined by my favourite man friend with the spikiest of hair, Scott Telford. And we're here at EGX, and we've just had a hands-on preview of Metro Exodus, and my God, that game is trying to do a lot of stuff. But if you're wondering what Metro Exodus is, here is Scott Telford with a hot take, and he's going to give it to you right now.
Oh, lordy! I mean, if you don't know what Metro is at this point, it's based on a bunch of novels. There's Metro 2033, there's Metro Last Light. It's kind of got the same vibe that The Witcher does from Andrzej Sapkowski. I forget what the name of the dude is that does Metro, but the size of the world, the general detail of the lore, and all that kind of stuff, there's a lot to pick from. So with Metro Exodus, they're kind of going down this like survivalist route. You plays the same guy. Artyom is the main character again, but it seems like they're kind of going for more of like an action route. I mean, it got shown off at the beginning of the Xbox One X's debut, and it was like, here's this big 4K showcase, look at the visuals of this game, and you do notice that straight away. It seems like they're leading with like the action focus, the more over-the-top stuff, but when you actually get hands-on with it, I mean, we had about a 20-minute segment with it. The best way to play it is way slower, to be more survivalist. It's all about crafting stuff. You actually have to clean your weapons. You have to procure certain acids out in the field so that you can clean your weapons, make sure they work. At any given point, you can stop and get your backpack out and mod the stuff that you have on you to make sure it's the best weapon for the next encounter. So you can play stealthily and like stab dudes. I had one bit where the AI is very responsive to what you do as well. So if you're picking people off and freaking people out, I had one guy where I just overheard someone shout like, "I'm just going to run outside and give myself up." And so one of the NPCs, AI, just ran out and just stood. And so I got to run up to him and shank him anyway. But there's all that kind of stuff.
Well, see, I had the same example as that. When a guy said that he was going to give up, I just shot him straight in the face.
As you do.
Yeah, I mean,
we're gamers.
The thing is that we got to play, before we started playing, there was a nice little 2-minute video introducing all of the new gameplay elements that are going to be in this game that you need to become familiar with, such as crafting, such as cleaning your weapons, such as cleaning your visor if you get too exposed to mud and dirt and things in the field. Basically what it's doing is trying to go for this massive immersive factor. And the whole world does feel incredibly lived in. Every single room that I went into and all of these shacks that were about, I felt like somebody had lived there. There were stories to tell that maybe you were just getting the tail end of. I found that it was an incredibly immersive experience for just 20 minutes. It flew by incredibly quickly. However, I will say that maybe if they are going for such a stealth focus, which they encouraged quite heavily in this playthrough that we had, I think that maybe I walked into a lot of enemies by accident, and maybe it was the pressure of just playing it live and when other people are there behind you, but maybe I feel like I wasn't very aware of what was going on. However, there were some massive plus points, like being able to find tons of secrets hidden on bodies. There were more bits of loot, there were new weapon upgrades, there were everything that you could think of to make your experience even that much better. It was, and the best thing is, the radioactive bear, up close, even more terrifying.
So I was going to say, like, yeah, the state of the world as it is, basically in the novels and everything, humanity was forced underground, standard nuclear apocalypse type stuff, different communities formed underground and then went back up to the surface. So they have a lot of that. There's a lot of world detail when you start exploring the different houses and the different environments, and you can just take time reading like different newspaper clippings and things like that. But all that stuff's great. I mean, it kind of reminds me, I mean, a lot of people have made the Metro Fallout comparison before. Obviously, Bethesda's worlds are extremely detailed, but I got way more of like a narrative tone from this. Like I said, you've kind of got the survivalist aspect to it. Your health drains very, very fast. You're actually manually healing with syringes. If you want to do stealth as well, you need to make a point of bringing up like this little stealth sensor thing that tells you if you're hidden or not. It's all things that are forcing you to play it in a way that is you're constantly aware of everything around you and your role in that world. And so I'm kind of hoping that they do more storytelling stuff, like more overt storytelling stuff. Because speaking of the bear, our demo ended when this massive mutant over-the-top bear thing descended on these two factions, and we were sort of like trying to fight both of them. These two factions called the Pirates and the Pioneers. But that sort of hints that they're doing more like stuff with over-the-top enemies, similar territory that Fallout 76 is going into with its more overblown enemies. So yeah, it seems that they've got like a mix of tone in like the story stuff and the action stuff. I'm hoping for the story stuff to take a little bit more precedent, because I don't think that if you go all-out gunplay, it felt a little bit twitchy. So you know, I would say that one of the things that I really enjoyed about this experience was the fact that this wasn't an open world experience. If you're going into this thinking that it's just going to be yet another sandbox game, you're wrong. It's actually loads of very, very non-linear, very large levels. That might not sound as fun to people who are looking for that ultimate freedom experience, but what it does is it allows the narrative to be scripted, there to be set pieces, there to be things that are actually, that the developer really wants you to hit at their peak. Yep. And that's the thing. I feel like they might be able to tell a better story than Fallout ever could. And that is a big statement coming from a man who has every single one of them and has played every single one of them to death. I'm excited, but also worried to see how this is going to shape up against Fallout 76.
Either or.
We might as well mention just very quickly that Bethesda have a massive booth here. No Fallout 76 build. So the day is Metro's for the taking, and as far as the demo that we got, it's extremely promising. So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I don't think they've even... Oh, no, they do have a date confirmed. It's next year. It's in February. I think 22nd. And it's probably right behind me as I say this. But it's coming next year, so at least it seems like everything's quite promising, and what we played was extremely confident. So here's to seeing a lot more of it. Regardless, let us know what you think down in the comments below. I've been Scott from WhatCulture.com.
As always, I've been Jules.
And we'll catch you guys soon. Bye.